Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. A number of spicy topics to dive into today. The flank potentially being afflicted by Rostmania here in the off-season, but also Doug Censor Martin talking about Cellium and how he's going to deal with the tiny terrors come land. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting that like button is the best thing you can do. Tell this channel reach new people. Please consider subscribing as well if you have not yet already. Firstly, this one blast last night. 16 maps came out on release day. Not a single one is competitive. Honestly, impressive. And Slash is just, he's not having a good time with it either. It's just kind of the thing, right? When we talked about this game, like, before launch, I was pretty optimistic. Like, all these maps in the game, at least some of them have got to be pretty good. Turns out maybe some of them are, some of them certainly aren't. But, with the Season 1 updates, maybe we get some new maps dropping with that. It's tough to say. But with any luck, we find the game in a better spot in a month or so's time when hopefully the league actually kicks off, right? But so many questions still remain in the air right now. This, of course, is what we talked about yesterday. If you guys missed it, this kind of a quick update the Siege comes out with here on the Reddit. We talked about the Ben and Dashy certainly had their back and forth the last couple of months or so. Ben, I think, has kind of implied a little bit on the flank, the laziness on the Optic team that kind of affected them. And then there was, Dashy responded to this a while ago. And then last night, Ben happens to come around ZooMaa's house. ZooMaa kind of lets him on the microphone to kind of squash the beef. Doesn't really go down like that. Method, you could argue, was kind of instigating it and pushing it all a little bit. And then there was kind of some reaction to this. And ZooMaa wasn't particularly happy with how the whole situation went down. And, made Dashy feel kind of awkward in the own optical they had going on there. So, bit of controversy around this, really. We looked at it in yesterday's video if you guys want to check it out after this one finishes. But anyway, this is what happened on the timeline. So, well, Methods comes out with a tweet first of all. The Methods tweet went like this: Cod Reddit should be nuked off planet Earth. I don't think he was particularly too happy with some of the stick he was getting for this situation on Reddit. And as posted, I thought was kind of funny reply. Fact's been telling them eat a Frank. I find it so funny when people lose full over Reddit. Then there's ones who get on there trying to win everyone over, all cringe, right? So he's talking about like some of the pro players that are getting on the Reddit trying to win people over, which these are fair few pros, right? They want to interact, they want to talk to the guys. Like Clayster's often on there, like ZooMaa was even on there as well, like trying to to talk to the guys and just understand like their perspective and try and like apologize for exactly what went down on the stream last night, which maybe shouldn't necessarily have happened, but it was entertaining nonetheless. Of course, some of the follow-up to this was from ZooMaa here, like he was kind of apologizing in this clip I'll share for you guys in just a second. But then also this clip came out from CDL Scrim Intel, kind of discussing the possibility of could there be some sort of change in co-host for the flank. So the first clip is ZooMaa kind of apologizing for the situation, discussing that there's some news coming relatively soon, and then ZooMaa saying, look, what about Aches, right? Could he be a good co-host for the flank if for whatever reason Ben might not be there?
And in terms of like all the drama and stuff that's been going on, I apologize, man. I'm sorry. The last thing I wanted to do was put Dashy in a bad spot or make things weird. I just thought it was gonna go differently. Like, I knew there was a little bit of beef, but like I didn't think it was gonna be a reaction like that. I swear on everything I love, I didn't think it was gonna be like that. I thought they were just gonna like talk it out or like I don't know. But I didn't really like what Ben was saying either. So it is what it is. But we'll see what happens. But stay tuned for some announcements. And again, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm sorry if people thought I was using it for attention or trying to use drama for attention.
Take your seats. We're gonna get
bottom left. It's a big fight.
How'd you guys like Pat on the flank? You think Pat would be a good co-host on a flank? I think Pat would make a great co-host. What do you guys think? I think Patty P would me and Patty P would vibe out after matches. I feel like that'd be good. You know what I'm saying?
Huge win up top.
So ZooMaa goes on to clarify, no, this is not the case. Ben isn't going anywhere. But it is a bit of a question because apparently there's some news on this coming relatively soon. And I do wonder what happens here with regard to the flank, because we know that Rostmania is pretty crazy in Call of Duty in general. Whether Ben gets swapped out as the co-host for the flank, that remains to be seen. I don't think that'll happen. I think that Ben and ZooMaa have a great dynamic there. I think without Ben, it wouldn't work anywhere near as well. But I think certainly other co-hosts could be pretty good in that role as well in certain situations. And probably they might have some sort of rotation going on, because probably what's held the flank back a little bit this off-season in terms of having a load of episodes coming out is probably that Ben is just particularly busy right now with a load of work stuff, and maybe can't get the timings to work or whatever the situation is. Whether that works fine again during the season, like I'm not really sure, but hopefully that'd be the case for sure. But maybe ZooMaa's thinking, look, maybe if I get another co-host in certain situations, like we can bring the flank back in a little bit more detail, especially here in the off-season with a different co-host potentially. So he says, look, no, nothing's changing. Ben isn't going anywhere, but there is some sort of announcement soon. As ZooMaa says, Ben didn't get fired, guys, more soon. I thought it was kind of entertaining, really, the way the situation went down, where, you know, people were discussing, well, is Ben going to be disappearing? Like, the way ZooMaa was talking and apologizing for this, and kind of, not necessarily putting the blame on Ben by any means, but just like the fact that Ben happened to be in the call there and was saying the things to Dashy, and things didn't really go down the way ZooMaa intended them to. But anyway, ZooMaa's still got the New York Subliners logo here and his kind of flair here on the Reddit, which even though he's not part of the organization anymore. And speaking of the Subliners, this comes out from them last night. I thought this is great when they do this kind of an episode of Bet or whatever it is with Maloney. And well, I could bench each of the Tiny Terrors on one up. So I'll share this clip for you guys from Doug. He comes out and is discussing basically his top 5 players of all time, and then he gets asked his top 5 worst Call of Duty players of all time. And he puts Aches up there, then he puts Cellium up there. I'm pretty sure Cellium and Doug, they have a decent relationship. They get on relatively well. But what he had to say on Cellium I thought was pretty entertaining, especially given the fact that, you know, aBeZy and Simp he puts in his top 5 players of all time in terms of that list. And he's basically saying, look, Cellium, he gets carried by these guys, maybe putting the rest of the FaZe guys in a similar boat. And to be fair, like Doug has said before, that if you give him teammates like Simp and aBeZy, or if you give him teammates like Simp and aBeZy have, or anything along those lines, he's going to be, you know, the one to take down Optic and this type of stuff. So I'll share the clip for you guys. I thought it was pretty entertaining. He's definitely looking to bench the Tiny Terrors when we get to land back again.
Who are your top 5 best COD players of all time?
Crimsix, Clayster, Scump, Simp, aBeZy.
Who are your top 5 worst COD players of all time?
Aches. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Patty Aches.
I love you, Pat, but damn, Pat, come on, man. Top 5 worst COD players of all time. Cellium's got to be high up on that list.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's really not that
kid's
talented.
yeah.
Doesn't shoot that straight. Terrible shot. Horrible comms.
Agreed, 100%.
Like, what is that all about? Dude, I don't know. He just gets carried by the Tiny Terrors all day long.
100%,
Like,
100%.
terrible player.
Speaking of the Tiny Terrors, do you think you could bench the Tiny Terrors?
I could bench each of them on one arm at least 20 times.
Yeah? Easily.
Seriously.
I want to see this.
Like, no, I could literally take them by, like, their back, like, flip them up over, one hand on one back, one hand on the other. I can do, like, singles. I could do both at the same time.
Let's go. So if we set this up at an event this year for an episode of Bet, would you come out and do it?
I'd be down to do it, but I know that they're going to be a little bit scared. They're probably a little bit intimidated, and they're going to be like, I can't let some other, like, bench warmer COD player do this to me, because this is just going to be sus.
So as I say, I believe these guys get on relatively well. As Cellium says here, I just cut all my friends up and brought my brothers in. I'm like your brebs, see, you know, of course, Dougie, back in September sometime here. But yeah, thought it was interesting regardless. As we talked about earlier today, right, when is LAN going to come back? Are we going to get a proper LAN event here in January? And then it's going to kick off again. Like, what's going to happen with the amateur scene as well, right? Because yes, the pros might well be playing on LAN this year, but for the amateur side, are there going to be any LAN events at all? Last year, there certainly was not really. And I mean, at the start of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, there was the opening launch weekend or whatever, they also had a Challengers event go on at the same time on LAN. And that's really where some of these guys do come into their own, and players that have been playing online to maybe great effect don't necessarily turn up as well on LAN. I'm sure Censor would certainly say that if he could play one of these amateur Challenger tourneys on LAN, he would be a much bigger favourite than he would be necessarily in an online environment, just because of his experience in that situation. It's certainly an interesting one. Like, certainly for Challengers champs, if they even do it this year, like with any luck, that'll be in a LAN environment. There's a lot of questions really when that situation hopefully does transpire again, because it definitely makes the content way better when everything is done in person. This also was going down last night just because, of course, there is that event in Raleigh in December here. And it was actually the Subliners guys playing this Halo event invitational last night. Boom TV put on this Halo tournament, and I think Hitch might have been involved in this. I'm not exactly sure, but whatever the situation was, it was basically the Subliners guys plus Slasher in the team. It was a $50,000 Halo Infinite event. Clay, Neptune, Crim instead of Hydra. Slasher's here. I think Hydra might be going home for a little bit back to Europe for Christmas and stuff like that, then heading back out to the States. But still, this is what's going on here. Like, I thought it was pretty funny, really, these guys were playing in it, because, I mean, look, who's playing Call of Duty right now at the end of the day? It's a tough game to play particularly consistently, especially after you finish your scrim sets, and there's no third gamer to continue playing on. And, I mean, Clay had a nice little clip right here with the sniper rifle in hand as well. Oh, no, I forget exactly what this map's called. It takes me so long to learn the names of these maps, to be honest, but it was pretty nice regardless. And, yeah, 3-piece for the boys, protecting Neptune at all costs for sure in any game that he plays, but it was actually Enable and Co that won this entire tournament in the end. So Frosty, Enable, D Ronda, and Enable win this tourney. So Enable's back in business, I suppose. Trying to top some of the charts here already for earnings in Halo Infinite, but also there's some Doug Censor to finish things out. I truly look forward to Bakar Sharpoint. We looked at earlier today that Arcitys was kind of saying, look, with the kind of, I guess the respawn delay as it is right now at 2 seconds, people are going to be going 60 and 60. Doug Censor Martin's absolutely fine right here. Like, he's hitting some nice shots here with the MP40. You've got to give credit where it's due. Like, I think this guy's, he could be a force this year. I don't know. Honestly, from what I've watched, I think Doug Martin is better than people give him credit for. And well, I hope he can prove some doubters wrong, I think, this season. I mean, look at this. It's a 5-piece from the gods. Very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit a like button. Tells the YouTube gods this is a good video. I just like you should enjoy it as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
Deep street royalty, one front side quad, one bottom barn, Haggy. Barn Haggy. I'm deep coop right now. Good job, that's 2 dead. I spawned out.
I got 3, I'm weak.
Last one back coop on
Yeah, I don't.
Close right, Jordan.
I'm one shot,
I stun over in front of you.
Weak.
Good job. I'm helping you here, Doug.
Above you, last
I'm
one.
absolutely, I can help you. I'm nading over in
Above
front
you,
of
above
you.
you.
I naded in front of you, Doug. I naded in
Rotate
front
up
of
and
you.
down above you, weak. Nice.
I stun above you guys. Nice.
I'm watching my front push. I'm stunned.
Oh, you're not dead. Just keep finessing. Just don't even kill. Just keep finessing. Oh, he's coming. Just stay down, man. Oh. Oh.
Where is he?
I don't know. He's not above.
Yo, no way! No way! Oh my god! He's just been finessed.
Yo, P1 already said.
Actually, I'm gonna try something. There it is. We have spawns. Just hold these spawns. Don't even die. Do not die.
P1. There's 2 P1.
Yeah, wait, everyone wait for me. I'm gonna dismantle their setup. I'm gonna leave this guy right here.
I'm gonna need over. I'm gonna use
Alright, one is watching the middle. I got through him.
Okay. I'm using bump for you.
Yeah, just
Middle
wait.
dead.
Nice. I could think I knew. Oh, guys, there's 2. We're missing one more. Our side dead. Alright, last guy top out.
Yo, Simp top boat.
Yeah, I'm playing time with you.
Top boat.
You can get time. I'm gonna push out their side. I don't want to get naded.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Yo, make sure to flip. Yo, don't.